trauma training in Ukraine. Welcome.
So I hope I will manage the screen right now. Can you see me? Wow, can you see the screen?
Yes.
Great.
Give us a second. Let me see.
Everything begins in medical university. As you can see from this slide,
Yeah, give us a second.
everything is okay?
Give me 30 seconds.
So Oleksandr, give us a few seconds. We're going to pull your slides up.
Okay. Did I share?
Good to go?
Okay, let's go. Next slide, please. Okay. As you can see from these numbers, when we speak about a physician from Ukraine, we are dealing with the huge underperformers. When in 2018, Ukrainian students, Ukrainian graduates, tried to pass the USMLE, the regular license exam, translated into Ukrainian, the average score was just 26%, which means almost all Ukrainian physicians are not eligible to be licensed in US or European standards. We are huge underperformers. This is a baseline. And of course, with this very low level of basic medical education, postgraduate education, all types of magic thinking, all types of a cargo cult is present. And these underperformers, they start to create some medical journals, medical publication, and of course, these journals are not peer-reviewed. And of course, who is a professor, he owns this medical journal, and he decides which should be published and which should not. Then the cargo cult is completed by creating so-called medical societies, medical association, which are rather clubs of traumatology, clubs of surgery, clubs of pediatrics. And the head of these clubs, leaders of these clubs, professional clubs, they are, surprisingly, it's the same professors, same academics, same editors of the non-peer-reviewed journals. And we live in that atmosphere. So this system is so well done and so well preserved by these old schoolers that there is no background to heal itself. Next slide, please. Now the war began. And all this high authority and high rank underperformers, they became decision makers. And now you are listening to them. And they are telling you some stories, some heroic stories about heroic Ukrainians. But in fact, it's judgmental, a very judgmental suggestion with zero data. They know nothing because they never even tried to have data, to have some objective reflection of the reality. These professors, these high-rank authorities, these high-rank politics, all of them, they came from the same medical community of underperformers. They demonstrate a lack of integrity. They demonstrate a lot of plagiarism in their papers. They are incompetent and they don't understand it. They are not bad people, they are just incompetent. So, rather than blindly trust them, you should, from this very moment, from this very second, ask everything from Ukraine, every high-rank general, every high-rank, I don't know, minister, politic, any professor from Ukraine. The only one question: what is preventable death rate? And of course, how do you know it? How do you measure it? And you will be surprised. There is no answer on that question. Nobody knows it because the ignorant medical community surprisingly ignores the data. So we don't know what the preventable death rate is, which means, in other words, medical ignorance still kills patients in hospitals. And believe me, I have no data either, but believe me, the rate of preventable death is comparable with other causes of death during a war. It's huge and it's catastrophic. So, but the base, the source of this ignorance, the source of this preventable death, it's not a mantra about lack of resources. It's not a mantra about enemy atrocities. It's not a mantra about a delay of evacuation. It's all about medical ignorance and the very low basic medical education. The next slide, please. So, what to do now? First of all, data. We can applaud for all initiatives for digitalization of data presentation and to see the beautiful presentation, beautiful PowerPoint slides. However, if data are not collected properly, if data are not, if the primary source of data are not collected accurately, this data, this analysis is useless. So if you ask Ukrainians about data, please ask them proofs of accuracy of this data. The next one. So the data, it's a base for science, it's a base of policymaking. With data, we can say that, as you see, we have data about students, about graduates' performance. And I can prove that Ukrainian students, Ukrainian graduates, Ukrainian physicians are underperformers. I have data. So to change this, we need to approach to basic medical education. And the only way to do that, it's to outsource the medical assessment of medical education. The medical system, the education university must be assessed with some kind of outsource using US board exams, US license exams, European board exams, any foreign exams performed by any foreign body. It must be independent, it must be from outside. This will lead to change the curricula, change the staffing of university, and of course it will raise the bar of medical standard. If we're still working with with ignorance, what the result do we expect from them? If you work with underperformed physician from Ukraine, what do you expect from him or from her? And the next one, the last one, as an immediate measure to change something, ATLS appears like very doable task for the free world. We don't need to start the formal ATLS program in a country, but some emergent measures to start ATLS thinking in a country, I think it's doable. I would like just underline that every certificate should be controlled now by ACS or any other trusted body from Western world. Because we not give a book, we not give a resource, we start a new community, we start a new way of thinking, we start a new medical culture, and God help us. Thank you. Over.
Oleksandr, thank you very much for this vivacious and vivid presentation. And so, you know, it is concerning, based on what you're saying, that there's a lack of trust in the current echelons of medical community and leaders. And and so if you were to put forth, you know, one or two things that can be done now with support of the either Ministry of Health or whoever is in charge of medical education in Ukraine, what would be the top two priorities at the moment?
ATLS to help soldiers, and international license exam to help the country to change the system.
Okay, so some, sort of like as you highlighted. And so, I mean, that requires, just to think of operationalize that, I mean, that requires the folks who do take these examinations and these assessments to be fluent in English and be able to do it.
Answer is no. This exam can be translated, can be done in Ukrainian. Great. As it was done in 2017, 2018 by NBME. NBME has all potential to do that in Ukrainian. It's an international exam. It can be done.
Great, great. And so what do you think are the barriers to implementing these two things?
Sabotage of old schoolers, sabotage from populistic government.
Okay. And so how do we deal with this sabotage? I mean, this is kind of like, you know, talking as a why is a why is a why. And so what would you envision? How do we deal with this sabotage? Do we need a third-party payer? Do we need somebody who, from an, you know, some sort of an NGO world, or someone else who pays for this, for these services to be conducted and accepted within the medical community in Ukraine?
All resources spent for Ukraine can be wasted if used by ignorance. So we give Ukraine resources, and we ask to fill some, to make some changes, to make some painful reforms.
Okay, well,
it's a fair trade.
Great. So there are questions in the audience as well. Go ahead.
Just a quick question. Would you also say that the genesis of all of this is the way that medical education works in Ukraine, where academics and research and clinical are completely separate, and the doctors that come out after the 6-year program really don't have any real-world experience? Is there something that can change in the way that a medical education is set up from the get-go?
Can you please repeat, because I don't hear the question well?
So the question was whether a lot of the issues that you're mentioning are stemming from the current medical education in Ukraine, where when students graduate and they leave, they have very little clinical experience. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You can see an anesthesiologist who spent 3 years in a residency program with zero intubation, with zero procedures done by himself.
Great. So there's another question in the audience. We have a few minutes. If you don't mind bringing the mic up to, thank you.
Thank you for the illuminating and pithy remarks. Who is the decision maker that can make something change? I've spent 40 years in graduate education in orthopedic surgery, and I'm alarmed for all of my trips to Ukraine to see the status of their training. Who makes, there are many of us who would be happy to help do that, but who is the decision maker and who makes the change so that changes can be instituted?
Unfortunately, so Ukrainian medical community has no auto-regulation now, and it's not really bad. Right now, the point of the decision maker, the main decision maker is a government. So government has all tools to start changes, to start real reforms. It's doable.
Great. So one more question, and then we'll move on to the next speaker.
Thank you. Thank you very much for these presentations. I actually would like to link the two speakers and ask the question to the guests from the Ministry of Health of Ukraine. What are your thoughts, reflections about instituting such requirements from the Ministry of Health, kind of systematic change that can be done in the country?
Easy question, Vasil. You have 2 minutes to answer that.
I can also repeat in Ukrainian.
He got it.
I'm totally agree with Alexander LINCHEVSKYY. I start work in the Ministry of Health in the time when Alexander LINCHEVSKYY was served in the Ministry of Health as Deputy of Minister. So we have the same motivation and the same understanding if we talk about personally about my opinion. So in my presentation also highlights that we need training, education, ATLS, and etc. And we need gather data. We need analyzed about researching about preventable deaths. Alexander talked that we haven't data, we don't gather data, and a few months ago, I dived deep in performance in the investigation with the cause of death in the forensic medicine. We don't perform in even this this procedure. We already were last 3 years, and we don't perform procedure to investigate why these guys die, and we should start this. But I am responsible for one department, and all things that I saw, that things which we performed and we initiate them, and the next thing we want to initiate is also the research in forensic medicine. But with Alexander, I totally agree with them.
Okay, thank you very much, Alexander and Oleg.